Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's new day, new video. I'm very excited for this one because it's really close to my heart. It's different, it's really close to my heart. I've always wanted to make a video where I share with you this little happiness of my life. It is a little part of my life that I love a lot. As you might have already seen in my previous videos that I read, but you guys don't know how much I like to read. Reading is like my hobby. Like if reading was a job, then I would definitely go for it. Like that kind of hobby. Like I really love to read different kind of things. Basically I like thriller and mystery, like serial kind of stuff, but I mean, I don't mind reading other stuffs also. I'm not much into love stories. Sometimes I read it. It's not like I don't read it, but I'm not very much into it. Yeah. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you the top five top five books that I would recommend anybody to read. Like it's these five books I feel like anybody can read and they'll find it interesting. It'll give them goosebumps and whatnot. So yeah, okay, now let's start with number one. Number one novel that I would recommend anyone to read would be The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. It's a novel that I read year, like I don't know which year, I mean BTech time only. I read this book during my BTech only, and it has really touched my heart. It is basically about a girl. Her name is Nora, and she's so done with her life, and she feels so many regrets. She feels guilty of so many things. She feels regret for so many decisions that she's made, and all alone in this world. So she tries to commit suicide, and when she tries to commit suicide, she reaches this library, which is called the Midnight Library. It's called the Midnight Library because it's always 12 o'clock in that library. So there she meets her English teacher of her school time, and then how that English teacher gives her the option of reading, like living any of the life, she can live any of the life that she wants to, and then but the condition is that she should not feel regret for it. So yeah, it's basically about how the girl tries to live different lives that she thought would make a difference, but how she tackles through all those lives and what she finds out. So basically when I finished reading this book, I felt like really content in my life. I felt like things might go wrong, things goes wrong, of course it goes wrong, but would I want to stop living it? Would I want to end my life? No. I'm gonna fight it. I'm gonna fight for everything that comes my way. So this book, I promise you, till the time you finish reading this book, you'll feel that thing. Like it's okay, life can be tough, it can be like really like messed up sometimes, but you gotta fight for your way. You gotta do I mean, you gotta fight for yourself. You gotta fight for the life that you want, and not regret whatever you've taken, because any decision you would have taken would have led to some disappointment. And any life you think you might you feel like, I wish I had that life also has some disappointment. So yeah, this book is basically about that only. So now the second book that I would recommend anyone to read would be Please Look After Mother. It is by this Korean writer named Kyung Suk Shin, her name is, and it's like I think it was in Korean and then it's translated to English, like something like that kind of. Okay, so this book basically like makes you understand your mother better, your parents better. This book talks about how the mother, she gets lost suddenly one day, and how the children, how her children, grown up children, I mean like sons and daughters, how they're trying to find the mother, and how the husband, like the father also, like how to what like extent they feel their absence, and how when they're there you don't realize so many things. Like for example, when our parents are with us, we don't realize many things. We are like, they're there, we feel like they'll be there forever, but this book makes you realize that how it's not true, everybody leaves, and how your parents are not going to be with you forever. But this book teaches you to love them, to value their presence. And yeah, this book is really nice read. It's not very fast, it's a very slow read, and you might find yourself like wanting to give up at some point if you like don't read. But yeah, if for the people who likes to read, you can read it. I cried after reading this book. So yeah, now the third book that I recommend is Verity by Colleen Hoover. You guys might have like at least read once, like one book of Colleen Hoover, because he's pretty famous. Like this, It Ends With Us, It Starts With Us, and what Ugly Love and whatnot. I've read other books of his also, but I didn't enjoy it that much because like it was not my kind of book. But this Verity was something that I read, that this is my kind of book, because it's mystery thriller. It's like mysterious how how the writer, in this book there's one writer who has to continue she's not a very famous writer, so she has to continue one series, a book of the writer who is now paralyzed or something like that. So the series, that writer left it in half, so she has to continue from there to understand the writer better, to understand in what consequences she wrote the book. And like that, she goes to that writer's house, and then her husband is also there, and then how he falls in love with how the husband falls in love with her. They both fall in love with each other, and like how the girl feels like the wife is not paralyzed and she can walk and she can see. But then the husband, she tries to tell the husband, but the husband also doesn't believe her at first, and he also feels like no, like she cannot, like no, she cannot walk, and then she doesn't feel anything, she's senseless and whatnot. But by the end there's a twist, and you'll really like it. It's like it takes you to this, it literally gives you goosebumps, because when I was reading it, I was like, I was feeling like someone is watching me, like that. You feel those things. So yeah, this book is also really nice. Now the fourth book that I recommend is The Silent Patient by Alex, what was the name, Alex Makelites, I think. The Silent Patient is really in hype right now. If you try to find in YouTube top 5 thriller books that you should read, like that, The Silent Patient will come only. So it was coming in my feed for so long, so I thought I'll give it a try. This book is also really it's really good. In this, the girl, there's one guy and one girl. There are many guys and girls, so the main characters in this book is the guy and the girl. The guy is a psychotherapist, and the girl is a patient in their hospital. Okay, so in this book, how the girl kills her husband, whom, like, she was a painter, so she killed her own husband, and the girl stopped speaking from there on. After she killed her husband and she was arrested, she didn't speak a word. And even in court, to the police, nobody, she didn't speak. She didn't defend herself or anything like that. So she was sent to this mental asylum type, where they give her the psychotherapy. People tried to talk to her, but nobody could. So this guy, the psychotherapist, he goes and tries to help the girl, and then how the girl opens up to her, and like how they try to figure out like that. At the end there's a twist. You'll really love it. If you're looking for something like this is a must read book. It's really good. And yeah, I loved it. So I'm not giving you much hints, because if I tell you everything, then what will you read now? Come on. So yeah, now number 5. This is a very obvious book. It's like I read this when I was in my school time, but I feel like this book, if you read once, it will have such big impact in your life. It'll leave a mark in your life. It'll give you such positive energy. So that's why I wanted to recommend this book, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. You can see here, I feel like most of you have read also by now, and you also cannot deny the fact that this book is really one should read this book, especially when they're growing up. it gives them a new perspective. After reading this book, like a new perspective came to my life, that everything, like people say everything happens for a reason, everything happens for a reason, but I never really understood what that meant until I read this book. So it gives you this book, like when you read, it's like, because it's a self-help book, so you might find it boring also, because these days we try to be rational, and we now we don't believe in self-help books that much these days. But this book, if you read, it really resonates with you, and there will be like times when you're like, this really happened to me, yeah, like those kind of stuff. So yeah, I recommend this one. So yeah guys, these were the 5 books that I wanted to recommend you guys for reading. I hope you read it. If you're into reading, then I'm sure maybe these books you've already read also, especially The Verity and The Silent Patient. I think most of you have already read also, but for the ones who hasn't read it, please read it, all these books. It's really nice. I can promise you that it'll leave an impact in your life. So yeah, that's it for today. Hope I didn't bore you. If this is not your forte, if reading is not your thing, then it's fine. And if you really want to start reading, then you can start with this one. So yeah, this is all for today guys. Thank you so much for watching, and then please like, subscribe, share, and then comment and whatnot in my video. And one thing I wanted to request you was, guys, please leave a comment below, and please tell me what kind of videos you would want to see. You can give me suggestions, and I'm also new to this journey, so I would love to see your perspective. I would love to see what you want to see, so like kind of like that. So please leave a comment below. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye bye. Love